Hello, divers, and welcome to a new episode of Dive Into Reiki. And I'm very excited today because very few practitioners in Reiki have the background as diverse as my guest today, Francis Vendrell. He's a doctor in physics and ordained Zen monk. He has spent over 30 years demonstrating how analytical science and deep mindfulness can be combined to enhance Reiki practice. Having moved from Santiago de Chile to Switzerland at a young age, Francis began his Reiki journey in 1994. By 2000, he had established his own Reiki school in Geneva, and in 2010, co founded the Swiss Reiki Association. He was a co founder of the European Reiki Group, which was originally launched to collaborative website in 2016, has since grown into a vital network for the European Reiki community. His current work focuses on two key pillars. The first one, education based on the discipline structure framework of traditional Zen practices. And the second, pioneering scientific research to champion evidence-based energy medicine. He's played a pivotal role in helping Stefan Stadelman create the world's first Reiki scientific database and establish the World Reiki Research Organization. Francis is currently investigating the fundamental mechanism of Reiki through the lens of quantum physics. By combining spiritual wisdom with cutting-edge physics, he aims to establish a sophisticated, measurable, that's a tough word for me in English, new paradigm for Reiki in the modern scientific era. Francis, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, Nathalie. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you so much. And I start every interview going back to the origin story of the first time you encountered Reiki and sharing that with the people who are listening.
Well, it was during a Zen retreat, and there was some people who were talking about a lot of stuff. And I was just walking close to this group, and I just heard the word Reiki without having any knowledge of what it meant. And so I think I was touched by the vibration of the words. So I started to investigate about this Reiki, and I learned that it was a healing technique. And actually, I was looking for such a technique without knowing actually what it was since I was a teenager. So then I immediately looked for a Reiki master and started to visit the first level and second, and that's it.
Yeah, and in the 90s, that wasn't as easy, right? There were not that many teachers everywhere like now.
Well, it took me 3 months to wait until the first level, which was difficult for me. And during that time, I just bought a lot of books, any books I could find about Reiki. It was just my way to wait for the Reiki course, actually. So yeah, it was not easy, but I was very happy to do this course, and really it opened a new path for me.
I love that. And of course, you have evolved and did your Reiki master and all of that. What is really interesting is your background, both in what people see as opposite, but in a way that complementary, right? The physics and the Zen part of it. So tell me a little bit how that has shaped your approach to Reiki practice.
Well, my focus on Reiki practice is based on practice. By that I mean observation of what's going on and trying to understand what is happening with myself, with the patients. And so the idea is really to have a very close relationship with reality without any beliefs. So that's not easy, because we always have beliefs of all kinds, and which will distort our view of reality. And that actually also, I would say, a goal of spiritual practice, to see reality as it is, without judgment, without any belief which will contaminate these views, actually. Yeah.
It's beautiful. I was talking to my sensei today, and we're talking about the power of clarity, right? Of like literally letting go of those anger and worry, like the precept says, so we can actually act or observe or do the right thing without any anger and worry. So I love that about letting go of belief. And how can we do that as Reiki practitioners? So how do we do that in the practice?
Um, I mean, if we consider a clinical setting, of course, the important is to listen to the patient um, before and after the Reiki session, and take into account his or her experience, um, his or her feedbacks during the Reiki session. And uh, then when you have a lot of this feedback, you can see that there are some common, I would say, evolution, for example, or common background to the practice. And yes, of course. And what is important also is to take into account the feelings of the hands during the Reiki session that will guide you. And that's really important. And of course, I prefer to have not to have a kind of, I would say, dogmatic practice. Although we need, of course, a framework that's really important, but you have to free feel to explore any aspect of the Reiki practice, I think.
I love what you're saying because I see the benefit of a protocol, very strict protocol of the hands, as giving you the safety net to start your practice. But if you're talking about the importance of observation, of seeing the energy ebb and flow, and really as a way to connect to the person, hold the space for the person, if we don't observe and allow the hands to observe with us, that connection is a little bit lost, or the quality of observation may be lost because we may just go boom, 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 right?
Yes, and actually, observation and also self-observation is obviously very important. And we know that there is a strong relationship between meditation and Reiki practice. Of course, when we give Reiki to a patient, then we have to we were in a mode of meditation, but actually we don't meditate alone. It's rather a co-meditation. We're meditating together. So it's not strictly speaking a meditation, but somehow it is close to a meditation, of course. And this observation, this self-observation during the Reiki session is very important because you, of course, you will feel a lot of things. Your body, your mind will detect a lot of signal which are important for the to help the patient as better as possible, of course.
No, I love that. And also what you were saying, when we're clear in our observation, we don't get confused by the signals, right? We can follow them clearly through and offer the patient because you are in that state of clarity. I love that. And then by observation, obviously you're a quantum physicist or physicist. I hope I got it right there. But observation changes also the energy and the way atoms and everything moves. So bringing a little bit of your physicist background, what kind of insights do you have through your research about the power of observation, the flow of Reiki, in how this could work?
Yes, it's of course a very deep question, and I think it took me years and years to start to be able to understand what is going on really. I think the usual paradigm we have is not totally correct or doesn't is not realistic. Usually at least in the Western world, we think that there is some kind of Reiki source somewhere in the sky, and that the Reiki comes from this source, and that we channel this Reiki through our hands for the patient. I think that this vision, this paradigm is totally, well, not totally, is partially incorrect.
Okay.
And yeah, and I don't like actually very much how the word energy is used in our context, but also more generally in the context of complementary therapies or even Chinese medicine. I don't think we give energy to the patient, actually. I think actually we do the contrary.
Wow.
We took away energy from the patient. What is necessary actually is to get rid of all disharmonies within the patient, okay, or within ourselves. And I think that's really what happens. The idea is to enhance the harmony of vibrations inside our body, our mind, and any disharmony should be somehow, we should get rid of it, let it go. So I think that the role of the Reiki practitioner, like in meditation, is passive, is not active. You know, when we think that we give energy to a patient, we are thinking of ourselves as an active system, and a system which brings energy. And well, it is not clear, of course, where this energy comes from. Some people say that it comes from black holes, or there is even a theory in Japan, I think, where people think that energy is provided by extraterrestrials.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think really the goal is not to give energy, but to take our disharmonies from the passion. I think we have to think of the body and mind as an orchestra, and all the musician, of course, should play together in harmony. And if there are disharmonies, of course, the sound will be disharmonious. Okay, it will be, you will feel bad actually.
Yeah.
So if in our body we feel these disharmonies, we will not be happy. We will feel that there are problems. We will not be in good moods or whatever. Okay, so we have to restore this harmony. We have to restore. We can think of all the musicians as all the organs in our bodies. You know,
Beautiful.
yeah, all the organs have to work together in harmony. You know, it's like a team of people. For example, in any company, suppose we have 10 people who should provide a service, okay? If these people, they don't interact correctly, if there are difficulty between peoples because of personality issues, if the framework is not clear, then there will be disharmonies within the group. And you can observe that immediately the efficiency of the group start to drop very quickly. And then the people of this group will say, well, I have to give more energy to my work, so to counterbalance this disharmony, this lack of efficiency. But at the end, we will get very tired, if not exhausted. And that's not really the way to deal with that problem. We should first try to resolve all disharmonies, to bring back harmony. and then the efficiency of the group will be optimal again. So this is how I think our body works also in that same way. So what the Reiki practitioner does, from my point of view, is to take away all disharmonies.
That is
So
beautiful. It made me think of the tuning forks, right? And I think of anger and worry as being very high, moving. So imagining this tuning fork going crazy. And then as Reiki practitioner, we're the calm tuning fork. And then we literally, how tuning forks synchronize and the calmer will bring out the energy and they're both at the end in harmony. So
yeah,
in a
I
way,
think that,
yeah.
I mean,
Sorry, go ahead.
this analogy of the tuning fork is very, very good. I think somehow the practitioner is a tuning fork for the patient, meaning that there is a stability with inside the Reiki practitioner. The vibration are stable, and so that the disharmonies of the Reiki practitioner can be evacuated, can be yes, from the patient. Okay, there is some kind of it's difficult to explain it without any diagram, but it's more or less like in physics we call a cavity lasers and things like that. So there is all the disharmonies, the chaotic vibration, all the incoherences we can't let go of them, everything. So the idea is really that our practice is passive, you know.
It makes
I think if we
intuitive sense. Yeah, but it's funny because they always say if you don't put more energy, inertia will lead you to chaos. So I think that's also
yeah,
part of, even though we don't talk about that in Reiki, it's part of a subconscious that we've been told that when there is issues, you need to do more and give more so things will regain order.
actually probably it's the contrary. Yes, yes. I think in martial arts also we can well, I'm not a martial arts practitioner, but we can understand that we can use the energy of the other person to 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 canalize maybe his or her anger, to help this person to get rid of this anger somehow. So it's the same process, but in our case, it's immaterial,
Yeah,
because we we don't work with matter, but with the electromagnetic field, which is somehow immaterial.
but it affects matter in a way. So
Yes, it interacts strongly with matter, and we are actually bringing harmony within the patient by bringing an harmonious electromagnetic field, which interact with the body, with the material vibration, which I like to call the chi. And if this vibration are harmonious, then your chi is a good chi, a good quality chi. So the focus should actually be on quality rather than quantity. Okay. For example, consider an old lady or an old man. Okay. When we are old, we have less energy, of course, because our organs are more efficient. But nevertheless, we can have a good quality of energy. We can have a good vitality in our body, And there are young people who have a lot of energy, but maybe they don't do nothing, they do nothing, they are always angry, they're not happy, and so on. So the amount of energy shouldn't be, it's not the important thing, is the quality, you know, and that's important. So I think that after the session, actually, the patient has less energy than before. And usually the patient is tired, okay? But the quality of this energy is better in the sense that harmony has been restored. So less energy, but higher harmony, which means that the body will be able to work better and then to create energy better from the food, actually. The food or the sun or whatever, mainly the food, okay? So the energy comes from the food, more or less, mainly, okay? And sorry, I have problem with my...
No worries.
Okay, sorry. Yes, so yeah, that's another paradigm which is quite different, which is based on scientific concept. And I think it has also deep consequences for our spiritual practice.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I have problem with my...
Let me pause a little bit.
My...
We're back.
Okay.
So when you're saying that, it's funny because when I leave a Reiki session or a Reiki retreat, I literally feel calmer, lower energy, but happy and at peace. And I'm identify what you're saying. When you take that excess energy, you actually feel relaxed. You don't have that head turning around and turning around. So for me, it makes a lot of sense, although I had never seen it as that. I always saw it as a tuning forks, like I'm balanced and I'm helping you balance and calm down. So I think also it means, how does this in your head affects this idea of channeling energy through the hands and sending it? And what kind of mindset should we have as practitioners, especially for those who don't have a lot of like practice with Zen meditation or any kind of like Buddhist meditation?
Yeah, it's a purification process, actually. So this idea that we channel energy coming from a Reiki source, I don't think that Japanese people have this way to think. So we have created, I think, in our Western Reiki community, this idea because we needed to give a meaning of our practice. And we have understood the way Reiki works in the most obvious way we could understand it, okay? But where this energy would come from, I mean, nobody answered to that question, actually. And so if you think you give energy, actually it's not a spiritual practice. The goal of a spiritual practice is to just let it go, right? People used to think that they have to go to the shops to buy things because we usually think that if we get something from outside, we will feel better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still works on very, very stressful days sometimes. Yes.
Yeah. Of course, we need food.
Yeah.
Usually, there is a lot of things we need from outside, from our environment. But if I have anger within myself, if I am sad, the important thing would be to get rid of this vibration, this harmonious vibration. So we need to help the patient to do that. And that's really a Reiki practice, actually, spiritual practice. If we see, that's my point of view, if we see Reiki practice with the idea that we give energy, I don't think we are in a spiritual practice, you know. And of course, the way we think, the way our paradigm can influence our practice. But the truth is that whatever you think, Reiki will still work. So that's important, you know.
And that's the beauty of it. But what you're saying is also is aligned. So my experience in Japan is really all about purification and cleansing, right? In everyday life,
Yes.
and also entering the temple, practices like misogi and all of that. But it also aligns with the Reiki precepts, because do not anger, do not worry is, learning to let go of anger and worry. That is our practice, is to find gratitude and compassion. And in now that I think about it, in no ways is like force feed that gratitude and compassion into someone else. It's really
So
about the
sorry.
I. Like in nowhere, Mikao Sui said like force feed that compassion, like don't send that compassion and gratitude to people. It's all about the you just for today. Let go of things, and then that way you'll be able to help and support other people.
Yes, yes. And if we can realize this inner harmony, of course, we'll feel compassion, we will feel positive emotions. And also we can realize how Reiki is deep, how Reiki can help you, can help us to become more enlightened. Okay, it will help us to become ourselves really deeply. Okay, so that's indeed very important. If we create harmony within ourselves, it will be a good example for other people in our lives. If we meet somebody who is harmonious, it's totally, it's a pleasure. It's really a pleasure. And you feel with more energy afterward. Okay.
It's
And yes, so we need to learn also to work together to produce more harmony.
I,
That's so important.
I love what you're saying, especially when our response to sometimes disharmony is it's we say it's like I put more energy, but we put it through anger and worry. And that is just fuel for disharmony. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. The other day I did an experiment. I meditated, I did my meditation, my Reiki practice. And I was like, okay, we always say that you can affect other people with your presence. I literally took the whole Saturday, and my neighborhood is very diverse, and some people are angry, happy. And I went into my neighborhood with a smiling to strangers, which is a very Buddhist thing, like look kindly at strangers, smile to say. And I have to say, there was no person I smiled at that didn't smile back. So
Mhm.
again, those little things, because it's very easy. We always talk like your presence influence other people, and that's not me every day. But that day, I literally tried to live a few hours like that, and it was incredible because also their smile back energized me in a beautiful way. So it wasn't just me giving, or like it was just when you have that presence, things starts to harmonize around you, and it's a beautiful thing. So I love that the science behind it actually proves that part as well. It's beautiful.
Yes, and I think that science and spirituality are not opposite, right? Science can help spirituality, spirituality can help science. I think that the Reiki practice will help physicists to understand better some electromagnetic processes within living matter. And this idea that we need to have two different disciplines, science and spirituality, is totally wrong, actually. There is no deep contradiction between them. But it is true that historically, there were some fight between physicists, scientists in general, and religious people, for example. It was decided somehow to create two different disciplines, the study of the spirit and the study of the matter. And so this was a way to stop fighting, right? And then the study of the spirit, the mind, was also cut into two parts: religious people and psychologists. There was another session, and in the material world also, we made a distinction between the study of living matter and non-living matter, biology and physics. So our view of reality is made of small parts which are disconnected, and we don't have actually a holistic, complete view of reality. It is totally fragmented in small pieces. And I think that's not the way humans being used to view reality. I mean, there was only one reality, only one way to see reality. Well, but hopefully we will at some point harmonize again all these different disciplines to find a new way to see reality without
I love that.
contradiction.
Yeah, I love that. And I think also people sometimes, as you start to practice Reiki and other spiritual healing modalities or energy modalities, we feel like then we don't want to believe science because they're different world. Then I'm not spiritual if I go into
Yeah.
the material, the grounded, the business part even, because then I'm less spiritual. But it's all together. And even again, Reiki, heaven and earth coming together. So I love that you're bringing that, because understanding the science behind Reiki doesn't make it less special. I know we love this idea of magic, but actually the fact that is part of like how we were created as a universe is just fantastic for me. It's just such a beautiful gift. It's
Yes. Well, we have different brains actually. So we have the intellectual brain, we have the emotional brain, and of course, this brain see reality in different ways. When I give a Reiki session to one of my patients, I'm not thinking about physics, actually. I'm just practicing Reiki, and I'm totally in my body. I am connected to my feelings. I'm not, as I were reading a book or making some calculation or whatever. So these are different state of mind, of course. And of course, there is no opposition. Okay, I like to cite the way we understood lightning and thunder. I mean,
yeah.
there was a Greek god called Zeus. Okay, he was responsible, I would say, of the thunder and so on. And at that time, we didn't at all understand electricity, but we need to still make a meaning of natural phenomena. Okay, so it was easier, I think, for the emotional brain to invent some kind of god because when there were a lot of thunder, we could say, oh, let's do some gift to Zeus, and so you will be happy, and it will stop to make such much noise. This is the way we dealt with natural phenomena. Okay. Later we understood the physics of electricity and so on, and now it seems stupid to see to still believe in Zeus. Okay. Actually can still be useful for the emotional brain.
Yeah.
It's easier, I think, to deal with this kind of event in that way, you know. If we try to explain too much things, I mean, the emotional brain will not be happy, you know, it will not be satisfied. So we have to take into account also the different aspect of the human beings, and not to be always rational for everything, of course.
No, I love that. It's, it's funny because I was thinking that I was meditating with the earth the other day, and because of all the earthquakes and all of that, and it just felt like, how we say nature is angry, the earth is angry. And then literally, like the earth is being earth. There is pressure, there's heat, she's gonna move. Like that's it, right? But for the emotional brain, we feel like we need to pacify her. Like it gives us something to do, that
Yeah,
connection that is stronger. Versus earth is just being earth and she's earthing. It's that's not very emotionally satisfying. So when you were talking about, I'm like, oh yeah, it's part of the beauty of being human. And tell me,
yeah.
where are you looking forward to? Because you're obviously your endless curiosity and a beautiful research. So what is next for you? What would you like to pinpoint or expand in your research or your exploration of Reiki practice?
Oh my God. I'm working on two big projects at the moment. Well, the first one is about the physics of Reiki. I still need to write everything down clearly, and that's not easy. I like to write some papers about the physics of Reiki, and I have also working on another book about a technique I invented or discovered a long time ago. Um, and this technique helps you to channel, to give any kind of vibration quality to the hands, which is very useful, especially with the plants, for example, because if you don't have lavender is the right word
Lavender.
at
Yeah,
home.
yeah.
Lavender, okay, lavender. The quality of lavender are useful to go to sleep. They are very calming and so on. But suppose you don't have any more of them and you like to use. So what you can do is that actually you can give through your hands the vibration of this plant without the plant. Okay. So it opens the practice in many ways and give a lot of options to the Reiki practitioner. Especially if you have a patient who has, for example, we can take as an example the problem of arthritis and this kind of things. There is a plant which is called arpagophytum, I think, yeah, and which is very good to heal this kind of problem. Okay, and you can with Reiki channel the quality of this plant, the vibrational quality with this plant for your patient, and so you will expect that the the session will be more efficient, actually. Yeah, it's more or less like generalizing the concept of symbol to anything.
I love that. And if you do online trainings, I'll take it, because in my way it's also like we're all interconnected, and it's deepening my connection with my arome, with my lavender, with my plants, to a point where like those qualities, those beautiful healing qualities of the plants, you can literally like embody them to help your patient. I think that is a beautiful concept, like, because we always see like, I need lavender, I'm separated from lavender. As you say, I go outside and bring the lavender, but the lavender is also part of me, and I can have that beautiful quality of lavender and just enhance like that session with that. That sounds very, very interesting. So I'm glad. I can't wait for you to write that book, and please let us know, because we'll promote it.
Thank you.
I'm really, really excited about that. So I close every interview, and obviously you as a physicist and a Zen monk, and with years of practice, you're probably very clear and observing, and no judgment about like if you make a mistake, it's part of the process, right? Because trial and error is part. But I want people, when they hear people like you who've practiced for years and have a very clear idea of your practice and a beautiful, successful also journey in the practice, that we start making common mistakes, oops, stuff that now you look back and like, oh my God, with compassion and kindness, but that actually were pivotal in your learning of the practice. So I don't know if any moment comes to that, or just perhaps just a watch out you want to share for people. And again, it's part of our journey, right? Everybody starts exploring Reiki doing almost the same thing. So if you have one to share, I would love it.
Well, I don't pretend to to do that, but yes, we do a lot of errors, and that's part of the past, actually. And the good thing is to observe ourselves, right? To forgive ourselves. Acceptance is very important, so important. And we should, as much as possible, accept life as it is. And that's so difficult. It's so difficult. And well, I try to do that every day, because I like I like the world to be different, of course, as everybody. But well, things are as they are. So I think we should just accept things how they are, accept others how they are, without any judgment. So that's so important. And work together in harmony, always in harmony, to create better things together, always together, in a synergetic way. Yeah.
I am so grateful for this interview. Uh, my heart is filled, my mind is filled, but in a very calm way. I'm not too much energy. I think, again, someone with your background has a completely fresh perspective that I think is going to be super useful for everyone. So thank you for your generosity in sharing these. And I can't wait to hear even more about it and have your books when they come out, the books, especially about the new one you're writing. And all your information will be obviously on the note of the podcast. And I know you teach also in Switzerland. So again, people can reach out to you. I don't know if you also do any online trainings or not, so people from other countries can reach you.
Well, I have a course on the physics of Reiki on my website, reiki.school. Otherwise, I don't do online training. But on this website, I have some conferences I gave in the past in French and in English as well. So yes, that's available for interested people.
Perfect. I'll link to those specific resources. Thank you very much, and wishing you a beautiful summer and lots of low energy harmony. It's a bad
Thank you very
description.
much, Nathalie, for the discussion. It was really a pleasure.
Thank you.